so le ngoma ibizwa utata. I-message isiya kuyo.
Yes.
Baba poroloto andizokubona mna kudala ungekho ebomini bam ngoba umama kudala xelela ngam iyo andifuni nokubona ndayophula ndisemncane hliziyo yami wetata ndikwenzeni na wetata ndikwenzeni na wetata ndikwenzeni na wetata ndikwenzeni na
Then you share the stage with the likes of Brenda Fassie, Moses Mulelekwa, PLK,
Yes.
Sunshine.
Yes.
What was the feeling to share stage with those big guys?
Mandibulise qala.
Yeah.
Ninjani gentlemen.
It's right.
That's right.
It's been a beautiful experience. I don't want to lie, because now you're taking me back into time. That's when I started. As we were speaking with the gentleman, everything for me started in year 2003.
Yes.
That's when Lindelani Mkhize actually saw me in a place called Kilimanjaro. And he just came up to me and he says, I have a contract that's sitting in my office. So going back to your question of how was the feeling of actually traveling the world and sharing stages with abantu abanjalo. It's one of the things that ebomini does pop. Ndisakhula. I'm from a musical family where my grandfather is a saxophonist, one of the jazz saxophonists as a back then, and his name was Saxo Wills Mbali. Yes. In a group yakhe ibizwa by Jazz Pioneer, something like that, if I'm not lying. Then my mother, Unomasundu Mbali, now she was a singer, a basking singer, and a piano player. So you can imagine I'm from that womb of musicians. And the only thing I only wanted to do was to sing.
But just to get into your isn't there an album that you named after your mom? I think so.
There's a song, yes.
Noma Sundu,
yes.
Yeah, no, I think so. Album or a song, because I think
it's a song. There's a song.
Guys in studio, we have Nicole Lembani.
Thank you.
Well known as SLIQ Angel.
Yes.
Samazing Afropop is one of the big guys, especially in South Africa. Samazing
Amantongomani. Yes. That one I know.
Yeah, you know it, but you were very young.
Yeah, I was very young by then. I was still in grade 1. I didn't know anything about life even.
Then you chose Afropop.
Yes, I chose Afropop because I wanted to be rooted to the sound Yalapekaya. You understand? And that's the only thing that I only wanted to take overseas. Even though so much you can go cooler, we are influenced with a little bit of R&B there, because Bugela Gritty TV, little bit of rock because my guitar teacher was a rock guitarist. You understand? So I'm influenced by all of those sounds, a little bit of reggae there too, but kodwa Now, where the roots lie is the Afropop.
Yes.
If you were to say Afropop is listening to Tibili, you understand? Listening to Mpaqanga, or listening to Ngepli Amazulu, kuthiwa yintoni Mpaqanga intoni the sound le isuka ezulunani Mpaqanga wabaXhosa.
Yes.
Then you have, I just forgot.
Maskandi.
So all of those elements, and the only thing I wanted to do was to be me. So when I travel, this is what I did Kengoku later. When I travel, even when I dibulisa audience, I greet them in my own native language to say molweni ninjani. Then I'll explain to Kubo to say, I'm saying hello, how are you? You know, so they could feel, but this person comes from a different place.
Yes.
So for me, because yes, you would have had a career that started in 2003 and all of that, but I think you would have met a few friends or a couple of people in your life. So there's this one specific person, I think from most of my reading, because I would have read a lot. I needed to familiarize myself. It's me going to interview Humasikela. I must find out exactly where this guy has been. So who is MXO to you?
Umxolisi is one of the pioneers, the sound that we are doing.
Okay.
When I say that, because me and MXO, we arrived almost the same time. In Johannesburg.
Oh, okay. You met Umxoli here in
Johannesburg.
Okay.
Around 2000. And MXO, we became a group before there was even SLIQ Angel. Yes, I came here as SLIQ, but I met up with MXO. We created a group. It still exists today. It's called Roots 2000. Roots being rooted, as I said earlier on.
In 2000,
then 2000 that's the year that we met. Sobabin. And MXO is a brother to me. He's a colleague, and we've been doing this for almost 20 years. And when I say we've traveled the world, we've traveled almost everywhere. We've been in the States, we've been to Asia, we've been part of the Africa as well, traveling with Roots 2000. But that all starts later, because what happened is we started year 2000.
Yes.
Then 2003, that's when Kengoka got the offer from Sony to say, we want you as SLIQ. Then what I did, I produced Amantongomane. Yes. And after producing Amantongomane, I couldn't leave my friend. I said, no. In one of my songs, I must put Mxolisi, because that's when this is Abalaza. So we were basking together everywhere in Johannesburg. And we actually did shows that other people couldn't do because of, the spirit, the fire that we had together. You understand? So 2003 brought MXO in. He actually got his own, contract as well as MXO. So to just clear what you are saying, Roots 2000, we are a family, and even now, I was talking to them, and we are about to actually release an album, a whole album ever since then. Because then only thing we're just doing singles upon singles. But this will be only the first time
that the group is
the whole group produces over 10 songs together.
So the people at home must look out for that music, because we already know what the individuals can do. So we are going to hear a very nice merger, combination of energy. I'm sure it will be at its optimum. So
no.
Going back, Kumam, I believe You were raised by a single parent.
Yes.
You just met your father at the age of 17 and he passed away.
Yes.
How was the feeling? Bekunexesha apho you think if ebekhona utata ngekunje okanye ngengekho nje.
I could say honestly, to be honest with you, my mother was like a father to me.
Yeah.
Because la mama ebe pillar of everything. And then I met my father only when I was 17.
Yes.
And honestly, as a child, I wondered, ukuba nyani, where's my father? You understand? And most of the time I thought my father passed on or something like that, because you are so not present in my life.
Yes.
You understand? And only to come later on to say, hey, I exist. But honestly, the person that Nomasundu was umama notata.
Yes.
Nguye okwazileyo undenza lo muntu ndunguye today. Because I am who I am today because I was so inspired by my mother. You understand?
Yes.
So in that note, can I play you a song?
Can you play us?
No, we want to hear a song.
Amantongomane.
Oh, Amantongo.
Yeah, play.
Because we're in the point of you were talking about my father.
Yes.
So I even wrote a song. It's not out yet.
Okay.
So maybe nguwe uzoyihlala uyicalule ba how I really feel about utata wam. Even though so much I had to come to a point where I forgive him.
Yes.
You understand? But I'll play you the song. Goes
Please.
like, so le ngoma ibizwa utata.
Utata.
Imessage esiya kuyo.
Yes.
Baba poroloto andizokubona mna kudala ungekho ebomini bam ngoba umama kudala xelela ngam iyo andifuni nokubona ndayophula ndisemncane nhliziyo yami wetata ndikwenzeni na wetata ndikwenzeni na wetata ndikwenzeni la wetata ndikwenzeni na babu volo oh la la la. So
Oh, hey, that's a great song.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it is an emotional song.
Yes, exactly.
That I had to just write in time and, take it out and just tell him how I felt, of him not being present in my life. It's not like, umntana akafuni imali.
Yeah.
You understand?
Absolutely.
You just want your present.
Yes.
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 And that's one of the things now, apho budaleni bam, ndinabantwana abayi-5. And abantwana bam, I make sure ndinemali ndingenayo imali. Let me be present to them.
Yes.
Bamazi lo muntu kuthiwa ngutata. Because the person I said tata kuye was my grandfather. The grandfather who played saxophone.
Yes.
He played that role. Wabakhona as umuntu ongutata. You understand? So, but I had to write the song just to tell him. I don't even think maybe he even heard the song. You understand? But it was just me expressing, because there are a lot of people that are going through that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had to write it as a song. Someone who's sitting there will say, actually SLIQ Angel who touch him somehow.
Funny enough, hey, his stories. I wouldn't say it's similar, but it's the same, if not mistaken. You know, when I reconnected with my father, I was also 17. I was just doing matric at that time. I knew my father, who he was, didn't stay far, and all of that. But these guys take their own decisions, and it's fine about that one. I don't judge him for that. But at that point, I would. Because there's a lot of opportunities I would have missed. I missed in my life because sometimes even to get a visa to go somewhere, you need to have both parents having a consent on that. So I missed on a lot of academic opportunities where maybe I could have went to the United States and studied there whatsoever, because I couldn't secure that kind of thing. But the song does speak. Even the way it's used, you would ask yourself sitting down, what have I done to this guy? Like, what is wrong with this guy? So it really, it's a household story. This story in South Africa is the same as death. It visits us all. But at the end of the day, we forgive them and we love them. And I think from our part in this present day, as I also have a son, the only thing that we can do to drastically change the situation is to act better and do better for our kids. So I can't wait to have that on iTunes or somewhere, so that we can
actually coming on the new album that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I know. Don't worry. I'll be the first to download. Aye.
Thank you.
At some point, I believe you lost everything. You became broke. You went back home. Then you come back.
Yes. There was a time. Okay. Yes. In my career, a beautiful success. I could say, like people really didn't know. When you're not in the media, I mean, you're not part of, let's say, the artist itself. You don't know what's happening. And the only source, it's the media that tells you. Yes. And honestly, true. Most of what they said, it was true. There was a time, I think after 2010, when after Mantongomani and everything, everything went down.
Yes.
You understand? And it came to a point where I had to lose my house. I used to stay in Fourways at that time. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Run back home or start from the bottom again? And it was I went down because I had to leave the major companies.
Yes. You
understand? And how it happened, it was like, okay, I was part of Sony, I was part of BMG, at that time. So, but I used to do these shows everywhere. But it didn't make business sense. You understand? Because the companies were making money out of me. And on my side, yes, I'll be able to buy a house. Even buying a house, it was out of my performance. It was not from the companies. So I had to keep every cent that I have to say, at least let me have a house. You understand? After all of this. You understand? So I had to get to a point where I asked them to say, this does not make sense. Can I at least now start my journey alone? You understand?
Then
contract ended. And obviously later on, there were lesser shows. You understand?
Yes.
Then I had to start from the top. I never actually went back home. I was around Johannesburg. I moved from my house. They took my house. But I was like, you know what? If I have to move in a small room, it's fine. And start over again. You understand? And that's what I did. I had to start over again. I had to learn the business the hard way. That's why today I'm sitting here and I'm confident, because it took me time to be on my feet again, to say, you know what, the artist is you. So if I have to sit down and feel sorry about me, nothing is going to happen. I'm going to fade like other artists. No, we used to have SLIQ and
That's it.
so I had to sit down and think, how am I going to do it? I had to move to just a small place, and I lost that house because I couldn't maintain it. And I knew in time, I was like, you know what? I'll buy the house cash. So I don't have to think of banks and all of that and having So it took me time, and that's when we reconnected with Roots 2000, and I released Umngqusho. That Umngqusho, it's one of Ingoma out of my company.
Okay.
And in time, I got back. And I could say that I'm better than before, because I feel that companies were just taking, and I didn't have nothing there. So it is a sad story, but turned beautifully. Because that hardship, I had to get to a point where ndizivutulule, ndiphakame, ndiqhubekeke. Because at the end of the day, it was all about me, not the companies.
Exactly.
Just imagine if I stopped and I went back home. I won't be here talking to you today. I'll be like, okay, what happened to him? So after that, I've traveled the world and I've been everywhere. Ndizenzela ngokwam. So that's when I think, like now, and even the technology changed in time. So companies are not longer running things anymore. I mean, you can release any song today. You don't really have to have a major to release your song.
Because back then it was about who you know, who you don't
know.
So
I could say even the internet played a big role of marketing. Because now you could market Facebook, and someone in China could see you. You could market Instagram or TikTok. And that's how now we fought back, actually. And we got back into now we own our companies. We have youngsters that are coming up and not exploiting them, because we know how we were exploited back then. So now when I meet a child, it's like a 50-50. Then you couldn't get a 50-50.
It was an 80-20 thing.
Yes. It was like, almost an 80-20 if you were lucky. Then you used to get about 13% from your work. And the company takes everything. You understand? So how the music changed, and we had to not but we knew that in time we have to come up with songs and document what we do. Because it's all about that.
Talking about traveling around the world, how was the reception?
Oh, it's beautiful. I remember the one that I filled up a stadium. It was in China. And you can imagine, I filled up a stadium with other South African brothers of mine. We went to China. I couldn't believe it. It was a stadium and a theater that they had. How it was so packed. So it showed that we can all do it. So as a young child, maybe we might be listening to this and they are going through to what I was going through. It's all about you being responsible of yourself first, and respecting your craft and believing, because you need to believe sometime, to really do it. And said, I can do it. I'm good in what I do. Have that confidence as well. Push yourself and, connect with people wherever you go. It needs that. Because when you were with the companies, they used to do everything. You used to sit there and they'll call you. They'll tell you about call time endaweni ethile nakwenye. This time around, if my brother says, SLIQ, I have something, I jump on that opportunity because I know his opportunity, it will get me to another 50 to 80,000 people. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is
That's
a broader audience.
that's broader audience. You understand?
No, absolutely. So for me, because most of the time on the show, we would be speaking about choral music, opera, and whatsoever.
yes.
So it's a very unregulated space, if I'm to say. But what the message has been from the platform is to make sure that we get to offer the necessary equipment, resources, and knowledge for us to be able to be commercial.
Yes.
Where the music itself, we're able to commercialize it, we're able to earn profits from the work because they're doing a lot of work. I think even the music itself is the basis and the foundation of all sorts of music. There's, umculo wasemakhwayeni waseni, no one can say, we have never sang that one.
Yes.
No one can say. So for me, trying to make sure that we keep the foundation running for you. And when it comes to the commercial side of doing music, like what form of advice will you offer or would you give or a heads up to the industry itself for people who are then aligning themselves to that path of commercializing the music and make sure that we make revenue and profit from the space? What form of advice maybe can you give or what things can you warn about? Because they're important. You can't just go to a place, they must tell you that don't walk around the way you want there. You will get hurt. So we must understand at least what is the dynamics, what is the environment, the atmosphere there.
I get you. Okay. First, you must recognize yourself as a brand. It's so important. Even though you're a small brand, act like you are a big brand, and beside all of that, then make sure in whatever little thing that you do, market it. Have a PR, have a PR, basically just market your stuff because that's one of the things that gets you there. Because we can sit here and do what we do. But now, if maybe you don't, let's say now you're going to put that on, I'm going to be live on YouTube. Now, to get to more, to broader audiences, the trick is put money on it. But the nice thing about now, I could say, abo Facebook, abo TikTok, you don't have to have millions.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So companies that are doing it, they know that marketing plays a big role. No one tells you. Now, with your 200, that can get you into, let's say, when you optimize and you tell your AI and says, okay, I need at least by 20,000.
Yes.
Like 20,000, okay, if you put 1,400, it will reach about 20,000 people. So it goes back to what I'm saying. Marketing is it's an important.
Yes.
You understand? Then having your product. A product is very important as well because you must know what you do. You must find the right people to mix and master your music. If you don't know how to produce, find right producers to produce.
Yes.
Because most other people that fail, they fail because they don't get right producers. Do you understand? So I don't know if...
No, you've absolutely covered. Because it's just to make sure that, we have a heads up. I think sometimes you need to take a person, throw them in the deep end, they must swim. But at least they know that at least you must pedal, you must do what.
Yes.
So I think that should be...
On that point, we have leather bag designed by Skobengwazi.
Yes.
This is a traveling bag. For merchants.
Yeah. And it's strong.
Yeah, it's
leather,
very strong. Yeah. And also we've got Laptop bag.
Yeah, laptop. That one I'm getting.
Also from
Yes.
Skribongos.
No,
That one I'm sure.
how you just said it, it was like, before you leave, we're going to give you one of these.
Hopefully from him and him seeing us on the platform.
Yes.
I think when resources and revenue start streaming in, he should.
Yes.
You know. Yeah.
Let me say, please do hook me up. I do travel a lot,
Yes.
and your bag will do wonders. Yes.
We're spooky.
And you'll find the number as Skribo. Live
Yes.
screening.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
will appear there.
No,
So
guys, I think marketing is very important.
it's very important.
And now it's I co-expensive. Facebook, all these social media platforms, you can go there, post your thing. Someone will notice,
Yes.
and they will come back to you.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And another, just to add, in market, it needs. Because, like as you're saying, there's a commercial music
Yes.
where you're saying, okay, those people, but there are people that will love a choral.
Yes.
They know that a Sunday or whatever day they born, now they're all about choral music. So what I'm trying to say that the market is vast.
Yes.
Where just market it and put it out there. There's someone who's gonna follow you.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely. So now,
So where is Mko now?
Mxolisi say Eastern Cape. There's a show that he's doing on the 9th. Ibizwa Jazz on the Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if people they're around East London, please, they must just go. You know, you have Abomlu Nhlanga, or there are a lot of lineup that's there. You know. So he's there busy organizing that. I'll be joining him now on the 9th to Yabon.
great.
How is this thing of collaborating works?
I think collaborating is so important in a way, because I feel that music, umculo akenzelwanga wena wedwa. You understand? So it's beautiful when you collabor with other people, sharing your music, you know, experiencing them too. You understand? Getting something from kubo, bekhona into oyifumanayo kubo. So it is necessary to collab. And another thing is it gets you to another, let's say I'm collaborating with you. You have your own market, I have my own market. By me putting a verse or a chorus, now if someone didn't know about me, ngoku bazothi mani ngubani lo cula. You understand? Yeah, but so collaborating, it's so nice to, it gets you to a broader audience.
Yes. So, is it not easy to collaborate with choirs or opera singers?
Now,
Because Kolacala is very thin.
Yeah, we
Nezinye genres.
We don't. I think most of the time it takes. It's about the flexibility of the organization itself. Because I, for one, I think maybe I can match beautifully into other genres. Because I would have done before. I said no. Let me do opera. Let me do what one. I used to sing. There's this song by Benjamin Dube, Holy Spirit. I used to sing that thing like nobody's business. And at that point, I was not a grown a man where my voice puberty has taken effect too much. So I could go anywhere I wanted when it came to range. Even though now, but you have to modify it, but you can still do it. But it will depend on the diversity and how flexible the organization is. Because there's this thing that we usually do, which is called crossover, where we would do like other form of jazz, we would do that and that and that. So it would depend on the flexibility and whether what you're going to do is going to also communicate with the other person that you're trying to collaborate with. The same way that Pavarotti did it. He's saying this is a men's world, but it's an opera singer.
Also Zola did it.
Yes. Oh, so okay. So this is a contract negotiation for me. Okay, great. It is done. It is done. Yeah.
Okay. Then would you love to have a choir on the music?
Oh yes.
Can collaborate.
I'm one person. I always collaborate nabantu who love what I do. You understand? You can be a rock and roll star. You can be whoever. You understand? Now I'll come with the influence that I have and add just that small value to say if when I was in the opera yako and my verse will be, you understand? And that always works.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of Pavarotti.
Yes.
They did the crossover.
Like nobody.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm very interested because I'm one person. I grew up in a household of uncles.
Yes.
And akwenze kuba kube nomalume pha angadlala uringo pha. It's impossible. So I'm getting that vibe from you. I don't know. Is he some kind of inspiration to you?
Oh yeah, like ubujongo budringo. I mean, ngabantu baqale before thina.
Yes.
And obviously, being a boy from Ekasi, and that's East London, from a small town, we got inspired by people like them. Yabo kabezocula siyagodola yazibona zangoma, and I will imagine myself now on stage, but one day this is what I will do. And through those people ndilapha namhlanje because they made me dream about it's possible for a black man to be there.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes. And make something out of your own indigenous music.
Bebonke to say they did play a role to influence and actually construct yabona ndibe be the person that I am today.
Yeah.
Yes.
You must yenzeka lewe ibona committee. Awungena pha uzamhlekisa abantu bangahleki. Yenzeka kubisi.
Yes, I think those are one of the challenges as you grow, and that's why I'll always say to musicians, especially live musicians, you need to just throw yourself into audiences where then you'll get the experience because that's how you learn, by getting there and you find out the guitar. You play and the guitar is not tuned. You are great with your singing, but if someone's sitting there and they know your guitar, but you understand, you learn as you go. So it does happen. And I'll always advise abantwana abancinci, go to your small venues, like your poetry venues.
Yes,
because by doing that, it actually builds you. You get to know your weaknesses into a stage. Understand? It actually builds you up. Then later on, because you know all the tricks now in the books, as you grow up. So it does happen. It happened to us where
it's actually true because today is Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah, like each and every Thursday. I don't know whether you have heard of this one, SLIQ. There's this it's an art movement, I would say. I won't call it a session, or it's a movement per se, where it's called like Black Labone in Pretoria. It's just next to State Theatre, the venue that the thing. You get like poets, other musicians who would be there. You can just, if you are there and you just go and rehearse with the band and hear what they can do. And then you can be able to get a slot during the night or during the day and be able to, express yourself. And that gives you that communicative edge because you get to interact with your audience firstly. It's not like in a studio where you can do cut and let's do another take. No, that one you must just be on top of it.
One take.
You are one take. And regardless of how the performance is, if you want to see the true humanity and the spirit of Ubuntu from people, they will always appreciate the work that has been done because we understand each other as artists that we are learning. Singapore SpongeBob each and every day. You must just just absorb. Oh, he's doing that. I think I'm understand.
I could try that. Yes.
So I absolutely concur and agree with that statement that you need to be more on the platform rather than being too reserved. Unless you are a star, we can. You have made it already. I don't know what level, but we need to be in billionaire status and in dollars.
Okay. Yebo. Yebo. So I'll take you back.
Yes.
I want the full of my tongue, man. Full of my song, digga, my commente. You know the full of my tongue, man. Full of my song, digga, my commente. The full of my tongue, man. Full of my song, digga, my commente. I want the full of my tongue, man. Full of my song, digga, my commente. Da figa kaya izolo. Tingena mali. Da figa kaya izolo. Sisitshwili zodwaya. Da figa kaya izolo. Izolo. Ayo. Izolo. 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 How the full of my tongue, man? Full of my someone in the makumete. Yeah, the full of my tongue, man. Full of my someone in the makume. Oh, lo, maya.
Wow.
No, that I remember now. I remember a lot. I'm a person who memorizes events according to music.
Yeah.
So there's an event I remember also now because of this specific song, and it had that upbeat thing.
Yes.
I remember very well what was happening there. I can't say it live, but it was nice things. It was nice things. No, absolutely. Yeah, that took me back. That is relevant.
I think that's one thing that's beautiful about music itself, because you can time travel through music.
Yeah.
You understand? And you find out, as you're saying right now, that it reminds you of someone. You understand? I mean, you even hear that, like your love songs.
Yes.
When you hear a certain song, and your mother will say, you were actually made through that song. Making love, something was happening, and you came out.
Yeah,
so you travel through time. So that's what a beautiful thing with artists, that they evoke a lot of emotions.
Nostalgia.
Yes, you understand?
Yes.
Uzibona uthi ndandikwindawo ethile ndisenza into ethile when that song happens, or as laa ngoma yayidlala. So it's important to really have the artist.
The artist.
So you said you're working on a new album.
Yeah, I'm working on a new album.
Okay.
And I don't know the name of the album, but I know that there's a single that's coming out. Let me make you listen to the single.
Okay.
Oh, let me tell you about the single.
But also I wanted to say, Sia, you must watch out for SLIQ. He has this tendency that when he's interviewed, he always says, I do not know what the name of the album is. I know for a fact. But I'm sure he's planning something.
Yeah, no, it will come in time.
Yeah.
Maybe I might sit here and an idea comes. And then, I'll name the album then.
Oh, okay.
But this song is called Mbombela.
Yeah.
So on this song, what happened is, after Mandongo Mani Mingusho and other songs that I did in time, I had to, because I feel those songs were more of experimental, trying to fit in and finding myself at the same time through music. And I think I'm at the point where I could say, I really know what I want to share with a band.
Yes.
You understand? Because through doing all of those songs, they led me through to this point now to say, okay, this is sound that I like, because I did experiment with other sounds as well, trying to be an R&B boy, anyana. Oh, you understand? So then I had to sit down and think of, the new album that I have to work on. Then I was like, let me just dig down. Because even on the song Amantongo Man, before that song came out, actually it's an emotional song in a way that if you listen to the song, it says, Ndifuna amantongo mane, vula masango, ndingene magumede. As a creative writer, I'll maybe want you to think like this. Because abanye abantu besithi, what the hell? What is SLIQ saying?
Repeat those words again. I want to say something.
Ndifuna amantongo mane, vula masango,
Yes.
ndingene magumede.
I know for a fact. I used to sing something else.
Yes. So now, as a writer, you play with words where you get people interested into the song itself. But if you listen to the song itself, I always deal with metaphors mostly, where Difuna Mantongo Mane, then Mantongo Mane is opportunity.
Yes.
Okay.
Through life, because I was from a poor family. And coming from that poor family, not just poor, but full of love, saying, but this time around, please open up the doors of opportunity. So it could be my time. So that was the whole point of the song. If you hear now, when I go to the verse will say, Nafika ekhaya izolo, ndilambile. Nafika ekhaya izolo, kungekhona. Just now painting the situation back home. I'm from this family. But now what I'm saying Vulani Amatango.
Okay.
So people, it's not Magumeden because I know we were always on Magumeta. Why is this guy saying about Magumeta, man? Magumeta. So now I know what it means. And
Magumeta, I actually loved the word itself, because there was another artist who sang a song, it had Magumeta as well. Then I was like, no, it had Magumeta. I was like, I like that, like the word.
the word, yes.
So I pasted it, and Magumeta was a person.
Yes.
In the story telling.
Yes.
To say, okay, Magumeta, you are the one, you are closing things.
Please
just open up.
Yes, yeah.
Understand? So coming to this song, in time then later on, while I was arriving in Johannesburg, I met MXO, and after meeting MXO through that journey, when I started the solo career and all of that.
Yes.
There's a love story behind, because when I left home, obviously, ndandingumfana ndishiye isithando sami ngemva, seeking a better life. But it was so difficult for me to move forward while I'm living my life, a person endimthandile.
Yeah.
So we ended up sobabini saying, okay, I'm leaving to Johannesburg. And abazali bakhe bengafuni next, because they were from a wealthy family. Na bensuke emagalini, emabobosini, eghetto. I'm just kidding. What I'm saying. So, but we agreed, two of us, to run away from home. I was like, I'm going to get to Johannesburg and I'm going to be someone in time.
Yeah.
But I didn't have nothing.
Yes.
But I managed to get us tickets as a train, because that's the only cheapest way to get to Johannesburg.
That's the name of the song.
Yes,
Okay.
So then on the song, I'm just now sitting and telling people the journey that I took, the love, because it's called Mbombela, the love train. Sihambe singanamali, sabaleka ebusuku sobabini, ndiyombako kwabo, you understand? ended up in a train. Kubanda, kushushu, you travel almost for 2 days to come to Johannesburg. And the only thing that held us down was uthando lwethu. We wanted to be together, even though so much we don't know how Johannesburg is gonna,
Like 10 out there.
Then whatever happened in Johannesburg later on happened, but now the song, it's all about the love train.
Yes.
How we actually
got here.
got here.
Take us through.
So the song. Siba nawe sibale ubusuku bonke mna nawe ude kusi sizobona ilanga awukhali inkukhu esenina zoba nawe ithi mini yonke nathona training ihamba love you wami ihamba namnawe ude kusi. Oh my God. Oluthando lwam nawe luyavavanywa nguye kule ndlela esithathayo sizobona milapho ijanga lithisana nawe. Then it gets to the chorus. Sabe ngombombela uthi wena umbombombela
Umbombela.
dambe no one
Umbombela.
Asheli tema happen umbombela
Umbombela. Umbombela.
dambe no one
Umbombela.
happen umbombela mama
Umbombela.
umbombela mama.
Umbombela.
You feel?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I train
We are backup singers at the next festival. We'll get the key correct, but yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the song.
It's a beautiful one.
No, absolutely appreciate it, and I think the story is going to absolutely blow. I'm sure this one will have a star next to it. It must go platinum. It must go platinum or even double for that matter.
Yes,
Absolutely.
But people that were going for singles.
Yeah. It's a single that I'm taking out.
What is the catch about single, not doing full album?
It's just it's because of time, how time changes.
Yes, absolutely.
And people just want quick things.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't want to be sitting and listening to a
whole album. Yeah.
Because I think people realized in time that you buy an album, but you actually like about 2 songs out of the album. You understand? Then singles came. The singles were even there. But that's what I'm doing. I've been releasing singles, but where I'm going, then collecting all the material after, then it will be an album.
Yeah.
You understand, where you sit and, embrace your artist if you like that type of an artist.
Yes. Any advice to upcoming artists?
Believe. It's all about believing. You understand? And so much that life can pin you down and make you think that you are worthless. You must believe. When you believe, then your universe opens up for you. You understand? I believe. There's a time where someone asked me when I was young, and I was so little at that time, where they asked SLIQ. I'm trying to remember what they said, but it was something like this. My answer to that person was, if so-and-so can do it, I can do it also. Honestly, that took me to places today. I'm here sitting with you today. I have a name. Tomorrow, there will be people telling you about my story. And it only took me to believe. You understand?
Any question?
No, I wouldn't have a question. I think a very different show. We got to listen to music for the first time rather than talking about it. Because most of the time I'm here, I'm a very critical critic. But today I got to hear music. I felt like, I'm at a jam session. You know what happens. The only thing is that we have water, but it's fine. One of the things that I'm taking from this, it might be a similar line or kind of a motivational line to say that in life, a dream without commitment is a delusion. And it means that in order to achieve what you need to achieve, you must firstly commit yourself. But even though you have committed yourself, you need to be consistent so that you are able to finish and reach the place that you're supposed to reach. So I've captured that from the holistic episode itself. Like, I know that commitment is the first thing, because he committed himself to music and even took a risk. And you cannot take a risk and then...
Okay, please.
So I know for a fact that we have definitely been absolutely inspired, and I think this opens more doors. Yes.
You know, this month, umculo wakho sondele pha emasikweni ezithethe.
Yes.
Kuthiwa le inyanga September.
September.
Kuyo inyanga yamasiko nezithethe.
Lord.
Ubukhiwe somewhere kule nyanga.
Oh yes. Okay, I just did 2 shows over the weekend, which were just beautiful. And especially having to share a stage with Ujo Nina.
Oh, okay.
I have a song with him, so he called me to say, okay, he was being awarded a lifetime achievement.
Oh,
you understand? Okay. I hope I'll get that in time too. So exciting weekend that I just came out on. But there's one that's coming out in September. There's almost 3 shows that I'm doing. There's one on the 16th of September. It's called Jam and Jazz. It's in Drakensberg. Yes, so people can get their ticket, web ticket, or we just what's that other one? The popular one,
CompuTicket.
Yes. Then on the 24th, I'll be flying down to PE. It's an unplugged that they're doing. It's just going to be me and the guitar, not with the band.
Yes.
Then on the 30th, I'll be with Zahara, Kelly Kumalo, all these big artists that you know. In the venue. I'm trying to think of the name. It's called Africa Unite.
Africa Unite, okay.
Yeah, Africa Unite. That's the last one that I'm doing this month. So I've got 3, so people can just follow on my page. I always post. On TikTok, I love TikTok. I'm big on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. SLIQ Angel 20 on TikTok.
Okay.
Other platform, just SLIQ Angel.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's great. SLIQ.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Now, kubulela thina. Mina ngumsuthu, so mawuthi uyabulela, it means that you are speaking, but in this case, thank you.
Sure.